Tesla is sort of a mystery to everybody. It has its haters, it has its lovers, it's a passion story. Look, there you can see the bonds just absolutely plunging. Ultimately, this is a story that has been sustained with debt that's gone toward burning piles of cash. Is this the tipping point where all of a sudden financing becomes overly expensive for Tesla?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's certainly more...
Take a stand.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. It's certainly more of a tipping point than I've seen thus far. I mean, we've seen plunges in Tesla's stock before. We haven't seen it with the bonds so much, but then they've only been around since August anyway. But certainly, this feels like more of a moment.
Well, see, here's what I'm struggling with. I was speaking with Joel Levington of Bloomberg Intelligence earlier. If you take a look at the chart showing the yield, the inverse of the price is the yield. Prices go down, yields go up. Here you've got the yield going near 7.5%. He was saying that Tesla's going to run out of cash by the first quarter of next year, and that yields this high is an unsustainable prospect. Go.
It's certainly unsustainable if they're planning on filling their financing gap with bonds. That looks closed off to them now. So I think their only option this year, if they're going to deliver on the Model 3, if they're going to deliver on, whatever the next project is, they're going to have to do an equity raise. I mean, Moody's said it so much in so many words last night when they downgraded the bond.
And there are so many projects, right? You've got the Roadster, you've got the truck. What else do they have planned? Every single time
rockets,
you think there's
tunnels.
an issue, yes, Elon Musk announces something new.
How much when a company has a business model like Tesla's, is it essentially become a bank in the sense that so much of it depends on confidence, and when that confidence gets shot, that ends up sort of coming back and hitting the fundamentals of the fundamental ability of the company to operate?
Yeah, I kind of think of Tesla as a money mechanism. So it's there to raise external financing. It cannot finance itself. It very rarely generates any cash at the operating level. It's completely dependent on external funding. It's proven very adept at raising that thus far, but right now with both the bonds and the stock in free fall, that's got to be called into question.
And we have this chart here, pretty extraordinary. Tesla's interest expense as a proportion of gross profit, in quotes, rising pretty substantially. So when you talk about the ability to finance itself, and you say it's not really doing it through its own operations, this is not the direction you want to see in this chart.
No, absolutely not. I mean, it took a third of their gross profit margin in the fourth quarter. What this company essentially needs to do is deliver on the Model 3. It's essentially built itself to the point that it has to grow into a mass market car company. The problem is it's really struggling to get there. And so that's forcing it to tap external funding at an alarming rate. And if it doesn't show any progress on getting those Model 3 production numbers up, by next week, for example, we could see another sell-off.
Yeah, that first quarter of vehicle deliveries announcement is going to be critical. I mean, Elon Musk has delivered in the past with these announcements, hasn't he? He's somehow made the bleeding stop.
I think what he's done in general is a lot of the targets that he sets don't actually get met, but they tend to show some progress that enables him to keep going. So if you look at the end of the fourth quarter, they didn't really meet the target, but they put out a statement saying we're gaining momentum in production, and that bought them another couple of months of grace.